All right, welcome to my kitchen, everyone. Hey, what I'm going to do today is show you how to make a really quick hummus. I've never made this hummus before, and I'm making it like really basic for people who don't even really work in the kitchen. Where I got this recipe from is I got it from Rip Esselstyn's book, and I'll tell you the name of that book. It's called the Engine 2 7-Day Rescue Diet. Eat plants, lose weight, save your health. Rip Esselstyn. All right. So, Rip Esselstyn's dad is Caldwell Esselstyn, if you're thinking about who he is, and he's, of course, a surgeon up in Cleveland, Ohio, who understands the benefits of a plant-based diet. All right, this recipe I'm going with is going to be the hummus. It's going to be the chickpea hummus, all right? Now, their hummus recipe is a little different, and it does not call for oils like tahini. Now, I'm doing something a little different. It says use brown mustard. I'm using Dijon mustard. I guess there is a slight difference. I guess brown mustard is more brown, but I don't know the real differences. And so let me show you what it calls for. Let me make sure I'm looking here right. 2 cloves of garlic. All right. So for those of you who are not really much for the kitchen, that's 2 cloves of garlic, okay? Well, I've already shaven 2 cloves of garlic in here, okay? And so also once I did that, I've got to get that garlic out of the little mincer. And also there's a little bit of garlic left over here. See, I just chop it up like this. And now, after obviously using the pause button, I can show you what the garlic looks like. All right, so there's your garlic. And here's another option for you. If you don't want to have to chop the garlic up yourself, get organic garlic. I get mine. I get Members Mark brand over at Sam's Club. All right, so that's one thing that's required. Also, you need your chickpeas rinsed. All right, so I'm using the Sprouts organic garbanzo bean. Is the same thing as a chickpea, okay? And here they are rinsed. And make sure when you're rinsing these, you're rinsing them with purified water. Do not use anything from your faucet because it's got all kinds of junk in it. Okay, now we're going to get to like my favorite kitchen appliance. I don't have a lot of kitchen appliances, so it's a very simple appliance. So you can tell I don't have a lot of fancy ones because there's a lot of real expensive ones out there. But this is a nice appliance I got for Christmas last year. The NutriBullet, all right, as advertised by Dave Avocado Wolf, the NutriBullet. I've never used a NutriBullet for anything like this. I use it for my smoothies in the morning. Well, I'm going to use the big carafe. I'm going to put my rinsed garbanzo beans, aka chickpeas, in here. And a little bit of water is in here already, and I'll explain to you what that means in a minute, why it matters that there's a little bit of water left in here. The reason why is because the recipe actually calls for water, 2 tablespoons. So since I know there's already a little water in here, I might not want to put quite 2 tablespoons. You notice I just dropped a chickpea on the floor. Since y'all are watching, I won't put it in here. Alright, so there you go. Drop that on the stove. The stove's clean. The cat will find the chickpea. One of them will. Alright, I found the chickpea. It goes in the sink. So there you go. I've got the chickpeas now in the carafe. Now what does it call for next? My cloves of garlic. So I'll come over here. And I just showed you these 2 cloves, just for folks that are not much for the kitchen. That's what a clove of garlic looks like. Don't make the mistake of doing a bulb versus a clove. A bulb of garlic, if you take a bite of that, it'll turn your insides out. All right, it's something else. All right, so there's the garlic. It's in there now, so what does it call for next? 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I'll be a little bit like Justin Wilson, the old Cajun chef. If I have more than 2 tablespoons, it's going in there. I ain't wasting my half an organic lemon. Actually, it's not quite. Let's see. That's a tablespoon. Oh, it could be. It's probably like 95% of 2 tablespoons. So it's close enough. I don't have to open a new, do a new lemon. All right, I'll put this over here. This is very simple. All right. So 2 tablespoons of water. All right, like I said, there may be like 1/3 of a teaspoon, or if you count all the water that could be in there. The recipe's already calling for you to rinse these anyway, so it's probably assuming there's a little water in there when you add to. This is distilled water. Oop, that's a little over. Ooh, cayenne pepper. All right, hold on. That's probably a little more than it called for, but I don't think that's going to hurt us too much. Shouldn't make it too soupy. Then it calls for, like I said, brown mustard. It doesn't call for Dijon, which Dijon is not quite as as brown, of course. I think Dijon may be a little stronger. All right, so it calls for 1.5 tablespoons of brown mustard. All right, so that's what, 4.5 teaspoons, 1.5 tablespoons. And it says if you're really, averse to a lot of spicy stuff, you might want to watch it. So that's about a tablespoon, a little under. Some of it stayed on there. I would say that's safely 1.5 tablespoons. That's something you probably could overdo a little bit, because notice there's garlic in here already, so you could overdo that. Now, black pepper. Doesn't say how much. So, I'm just gonna, with my clean fingers, put, more than a pinch in there. And also, to let you know about Esselstyn, he does not mess with salt. No sodium at all. All right. Now, I'm not quite that strict. I don't think we need to add sodium. Think about it. If you drink a celery juice every couple of days, you're going to get all the sodium you need. But I'll show you the salt I use. It's a pink Himalayan sea salt. You can also use the Himalayan sea salt. What sea goes to the Himalayas? Himalayan salt. I occasionally use Celtic sea salt. It needs to be ground a little bit more. So I am going to put a little salt in there. I don't really need much. Think about how the spice is already in here. All right, so I'm just going to put a little salt in there. All right, that wasn't much. That's very little. It may not even be noticeable. But like I said, I don't want to overdo with sodium, especially considering it should be very spicy as it is. I want to try to get all that pepper off of there. I went a little overboard on pepper anyway, so we should be good. So we're losing a little bit of the pepper, a little bit of the mustard. Now, great thing about the bullet is it's just so cool to use. It's so simple to use. Avocado makes the big argument this thing is as much of a beast as a Vitamix. Probably not, but it's a beast. It's a good little machine. All right, there's your blade. Now here's the big difference between like a Vitamix or a bigger blender or even the bigger Ninja blender. You're not going to get that many chickpeas chopped up in one shot. So it looks good, but there's a lot of chickpeas down here that are whole chickpeas. Which honestly, I don't mind my hummus having some whole chickpeas. But I'm going to try to stir these around a little bit to get some of these down here. I only blended it for about, I don't know, you saw me hit the pause button. I probably blended them for about 7 or 8 seconds. So it'll take a little bit of work to get the stuff from around here. I don't want to waste any of it because it's not very costly, but a little costly. And plus, I don't like to waste food. I just never have. If I was a full-time millionaire, I don't think I'd want to waste food. All right, put it back on here. See what happens this time. Now I'm going to see how this project worked out. There are a number of whole beans in here, but not a whole lot. Honestly, you could probably do half the recipe at a time. Now, this is not an advertisement for a NutriBullet, of course, because now that I'm looking at it, I certainly can tell other types of blenders and things like that would probably do a better job, but actually the consistency looks good. I mean, if you've got a NutriBullet, go for it. Hey, if you can afford a Vitamix, hey, get it. Yeah, they're nice. But honestly, I don't mind having a few beans in my hummus that are full beans. So I can mash it. I can mash it down further. It's not a whole lot of extra work. And now I'm going to taste it. Yummy. It's a little strong. Notice the lemon in it. And the garlic. A little strong, but I don't need the oil. You really don't need to add oil to things. This is good hummus. I'd eat this all day.